Hello, and welcome to the JWST Exposure Time Calculator. In this video, we will show you how to create and edit scenes and sources in the ETC. We begin in an ETC workbook on the Scenes and Sources tab. All new workbooks will contain a default scene with a default source. Scenes and their respective sources can be examined by first clicking on the scene of interest in the Select a Scene pane. This highlights the scene in yellow. In the Select a Source pane, any sources in that scene will be highlighted in green. Click on any of these sources to view additional information in the Source Editor pane. This highlights the selected scene and source in yellow and green stripes. Looking at the Scene Sketch pane below, we see that the default source is a point source. Keep in mind that the Scene Sketch is a cartoon that shows the relative size, placement, and orientation of sources within a scene. It does not accurately present source brightness or color. Looking at the Source Editor pane, click on the Shape tab and change the source from a point source to an extended source. Choose the Sursic Scale Radius Flux Distribution and change the Sursic Index to 2. Click Save. Other options are present for changing the semi-major and semi-minor axes of the source, as well as normalizing the spatial flux distribution in terms of surface brightness. We will leave these unaltered. Now let's move to the Continuum tab and click on the drop-down that currently says Flat Continuum. Select Galaxy Spectra from Brown et al. 2014. In the second drop-down, select IC 4553. Click Save. On the Renorm tab, we can normalize the flux density of the source at a particular wavelength or in a particular bandpass. A variety of imaging filters for JWST and HST instruments are provided, along with standard bandpasses. The Do Not Renormalize option should only be used for uploaded spectra, as described in a separate video. We will now normalize this source to 2 millijanskis in the Johnson K filter. Click Save. The Lines tab allows the user to add emission features to a source continuum. This process is described in a separate video. Now that we have defined the source properties, move to the ID tab and name the source Galaxy 1. Click Save. We will now copy Galaxy 1 to examine the redshift capability. With the source highlighted, open the Edit menu at the top and select Copy Source. This creates a new source, also called Galaxy 1, with all the same properties, except that it is not currently in a scene. To avoid confusion, we will rename the copy of Galaxy 1 to Galaxy 2 in the Source Editor. Create a new scene by clicking the New button in the Select a Scene tab. Highlight Source 2 and Scene 2 and click the Add Source button in the Select a Scene tab. To explore the redshift functionality, click on the Continuum tab and type 0.1 into the redshift box. Click Save. We can examine the effects of the applied redshift by checking the boxes next to Galaxy 1 and Galaxy 2 in the Select a Source pane. Now move to the Source Spectrum Plots pane below to see the two galaxy spectra plotted on the same axes. The different colors correspond to the color of the checkbox in the Select a Source pane. We can also have multiple sources within one scene. In the Select a Source pane, click the New button. This creates Source 3, which is a point source by default. Highlight Source 3 and go to the ID tab. Rename this source Star. Click Save. We can add the star to Scene 2 in the same manner as before by highlighting both and clicking the Add Source button. Note in the Select a Source pane that Galaxy 2 is highlighted in green and Star is highlighted in yellow and green stripes. This indicates that Galaxy 2 is also in this scene, but that Star is the active source, meaning its parameters can currently be altered in the source editor pane. Looking at the scene sketch, we see that the two sources are overlapping. With star highlighted in the Select a Source pane, go to the Offset tab in the Source Editor pane. Offset the star 1 arcsecond in the X direction and -1 arcseconds in the Y direction. Click Save. View the scene sketch again to see that the two sources are now separated. We can also change the orientation of Galaxy 2. Highlight Galaxy 2, click on the Offset tab, and enter 30 degrees for the orientation. Click Save. In the scene sketch, Galaxy 2 is now rotated 30 degrees counterclockwise. This concludes the video on scenes and sources in the ETC. If you would like additional information on how to use the JWST ETC, see the links in the description for this video. Thank you.